What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and I don't know what's going on behind the scenes at Treyarch right now, but content that was promised for Operation Grand Heist seems to be delayed until either the day before or the day of the next operation starting, and that content includes Misty as a playable character in Blackout, the mini M14 sniper rifle, a game mode like Prop Hunt, a lot of content that seemed to be promised for later on during the operation as explained on the roadmap for Grand Heist, and seems to have been delayed for some unknown reason they're not going into. So let me know what you think of that down below. But I think an example of content being pushed back or delayed for random reasons is with Arsenal Sandstorm. So a weather map variant of the map Arsenal, which was promised and even said to be live on all platforms on a certain day, when in reality it actually wasn't, and it instead released the next day. So in terms of this miscommunication going on, I think it's funny, but at the same time it's kind of sad that Treyarch's been dealing with this for quite a while. People may have kind of pushed over that idea because with Zombies Chronicles release back in May 2017, there was an event called 8 Days of the Undead, and for some reason even Jason Blundell was unclear as to what that event would actually contain and provide its fan base. But when he was interviewed on Zombros, he kind of went in detail about how there was some massive miscommunication with what 8 Days of the Undead was, what it would contain, what fans would get for participating in the event, and somehow it completely fell through, and there was only about, I think, 1 to 3 days of actual content and bonus gobblegums for fans, and this big contract the community could, take place in completing for some reward, and there was only a little bit of that, and then after that the event just completely fell through, and I don't know who even came up with the idea of the event and how somehow it didn't translate well with what Treyarch was actually working on. Not sure how that even happened, to be honest, but I just think it's crazy how that's almost reflecting the problems we've had this year with Black Ops 4, and how there are certain expectations set for certain levels of content that aren't being met for unknown reasons. But if I had to guess, I really do think Blackout is the root cause of the problems that Black Ops 4 has. As much as I love Blackout, as much as I grind Blackout every day, I think the inclusion of it at the very last minute, very late in development of Black Ops 4's life, the inclusion of it itself just completely tarnished the ability for other game modes to also thrive at the same time, whereas Treyarch's main focus seems to be on a massive operation that contains a new battle pass essentially for Blackout players. Even though you can go up tiers in Zombies and multiplayer, Blackout seems to be the core game mode that makes Black Ops 4 what it is, and kind of pushes players to go through tiers to unlock content as the matches last a lot longer, allowing you to go up more tiers to begin with. So with that being said, it really seems like Treyarch has had a hard time balancing developing what essentially is their version of Fortnite while also keeping other modes like multiplayer and Zombies up to date with new content and fresh ideas. And I could definitely see the stress and the amount of pressure it puts on Treyarch, because they aren't used to doing something like this at all. Usually they're used to, fully developing new content and ideas for 2 modes every time, multiplayer and Zombies, while the campaign is kind of a one-off thing that they work many, many months on for it to be played probably once or twice when a game comes out, and then they never have to worry about it again, besides bug fixes and stability, stuff like that. But this time they have 3 full modes to work on, and not to say that they can't handle it, but I think they just aren't used to the type of extra management it takes to balance new content for all these modes. And I definitely don't want to be the person that defends Treyarch all the way around and says they could do no wrong and says they're perfect, but all I'm going to say is that I hope Treyarch does a better job with management and planning for whatever game they're coming up with when their next Call of Duty rolls around, so that this doesn't happen again with Call of Duty 2021, whatever Call of Duty they come up with a few years down the line. But in terms of Black Ops 4 itself, I'm personally impressed and really happy with the content we have right now. I'm not thirsty for content. I'm not dry in terms of what videos I want to make for this game. I really do love this game passionately, and I really do enjoy making content for it. And honestly, despite the flaws the game does have, I'm really impressed with the content we do have at this moment in time. But in terms of the content that is to come, Treyarch put out an official statement over on Twitter and said that in today's Black Ops 4 update, or the update from 2 days ago, Hot Pursuit returned, Deathmatch Domination now live on all platforms with 6v6, Infected map rotation increased. We then have multiplayer cluster grenade tuning, the final week of Blackout free access, while the new operation begins on April the 30th. And then followed up that tweet with the statement that Prop Hunt and Misty are currently planned to go live in Black Ops 4 next week on PS4, and more weapons are coming throughout our next operation, including a new sniper rifle and much more. We can't wait to show you what's just around the corner. So obviously the Prop Hunt game mode and Misty were both promised for Operation Grand Heist, so my theory at the moment is that this Monday on April 29th, we'll likely get a trailer for the next operation, and then at some point later throughout that day, we'll then get that content that was promised for Operation Grand Heist, like the Prop Hunt game mode and Misty, so that it doesn't seem out of place or weird for these items and content to launch with the next operation, because it's almost false advertising in a way that this content was planned for Grand Heist, but it doesn't release with the operation, but instead releases with the spring operation. I'm just not sure how that would work out, but I'm hoping this content does release before the actual end of Operation Grand Heist. But let me know what you think of this down below in the comments section. I also thought it was interesting that the new sniper rifle was finally mentioned by Treyarch themselves, since I actually leaked the mini M14 sniper about maybe 2 months ago here on this channel, and I was assuming it would release along the release date of Ancient Evil within Black Ops 4 Zombies, since the YouTubers who got to play that map early actually showcased that sniper itself within their early gameplay of the map. But when the map actually came out, the weapon wasn't in the mystery box and the weapon wasn't live in Black Ops 4, so maybe they're saving that weapon for the next operation so they could release alongside some other new weapons. Maybe it'll be one of the tiers next operation. That's what I'm assuming right now, but it's probably not going to be a special order or bundle. It'll probably be a free tier with the next operation for the spring. But this has been dkdynamite. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn notifications on to stay updated with latest and greatest Black Ops 4 news and information, and peace out, everyone.